Because I don't have kids. I need to pay for y'all. Like, I just kept saying, like, are you serious? Like, it has to take a slow, illiterate person to say something like that. What do you mean? First off, I go to work, earn my hard-earned money. Hey, that check says my name. It don't say my name and so-and-so name. That check that's deposited in that account that has my name on it, because I worked those hours and I didn't have her on the side of me working those hours with me. Yes, I'm going to split the fucking bill. Now, did I enjoy the good time you had to conceive that baby? No. Was I on the side of you helping you push that baby out? No. So why?
This is how I got myself grounded from 16 to 18 years old. No, I'm not joking. If it wasn't already obvious, my mom was extremely strict growing up. Like, I'm talking no social media, no sleepovers, no phone until I was 15 years old, and she didn't even get it for me. My dad went out and got it for me for my birthday, and she was really mad about it. To set the stage, I was 15 years old when all of this started happening. You know that.
Say this next part. I am not really like a physical touch person, and he really wanted to hug me, which was like, I don't know, he was like planning it out. Like, he was like, when do I get to hug you? And I was like, I don't really like hugs. Like, I don't like hugs. Like, I just don't like hugs, period. Like, I hate hugs. And he just kept asking and asking, and it made me really uncomfortable. Then I was like, okay, like, sure, like, I'll give you a hug, like, after school. And I don't even...
Rose back from them, and before the bus left, like, the thing, like, okay. I've always had the, like, suspicion that they would be talking about me. You know, like, her not asking why we're friends anymore. Like, I feel like that's, like, a normal thing to ask when you're sitting with someone that you're, like, mutually, like, oh, why are you guys not friends anymore? Like, you know? So I've always had this suspicion, right? So today, I'm sitting in the bus, and I see them, like, kind of, like, exchanging, like, little talks, you know? And so I'm kind of watching them, because I want to see if they're talking about me, obviously. So I am sitting in the bus, looking at them, and
just the makeup and outfits, my darlings. It is the wild stories of people spilling tea while they do it. Today, I have put together some of the most juiciest and most unbelievable get ready with me stories from TikTok. From shocking betrayals to hilarious dating fails, these stories will have you hooked. Believe me, my darlings. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the tea. I'll be back at the end of the video to share my opinion, and if you find any value, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. My name is Ria. I'll be back. Let's go.
This is how I got myself grounded from 16 to 18 years old. No, I'm not joking. If it wasn't already obvious, my mom was extremely strict growing up. Like, I'm talking no social media, no sleepovers, no phone until I was 15 years old, and she didn't even get it for me. My dad went out and got it for me for my birthday, and she was really mad about it. To set the stage, I was 15 years old when all of this started happening. You know that saying, strict parents create sneaky kids? Yeah, that was me. My mom was one of those moms that absolutely loathed social media. Like, I wasn't allowed to have it. I wasn't supposed to have it. And she was also one of those parents where I had to turn my phone in by a certain time in her room at night, and she was going to go through that thing front to back, up and down, side to side, every single time she had her hands on it. She had my password. I was not allowed to keep it locked. And this is where the problems began. I knew that she was going to go through my camera roll like everything else, and so I had this hidden folder of photos on my phone, right? And this was fine. Like, this lasted me for almost an entire year, because remember, I got my phone at 15. This is the end of my 15th year, and one day, lo and behold, she stumbles upon this hidden photo folder. You may be thinking, what could be so bad in this hidden folder that she grounds you for 2 years, Grace? Well, let me tell you, there were 3 things that led to my grounding. Thing number 1 was a party that I had at 15 years old when she was out of town with my grandma, who was having health complications. Let me explain. It wasn't a party. Basically, my mom left my cousin and I in charge of the house while she went up to a different town with my grandma because she was having some health complications, and I had 5 people over. 5 people. It was not a party. There was like a glass of wine and maybe like 3 twisted teas involved. I was not a drinker at 15 years old, but I did take a video of someone bringing me McDonald's at like 1 in the morning, and then 3 people sitting on my couch. And let me add, those 3 people lived on the same block as me. Like, I was not having random people come over. I did have my best friend come over, though, which my mom liked and trusted. So 5 people came. As soon as I turned 15, my cousin and I thought that it would be a good idea to try gardening for the first time. So there was a video in that hidden folder of me gardening. Thankfully, my cousin was not in it, or else he would have been in trouble also. It was just me that took the heat for this. But she found that also. She decided that it would be best to just nip it in the bud, take the problem away completely, and take my phone away. So what did this woman do? She calls Verizon. She had this old ass flip phone, and so she's like, hey Verizon, I don't want my daughter to have an iPhone anymore. Can you put service on this flip phone? And Verizon says, no lady, that phone is actually so old that it won't connect to our cell towers. This is the phone. If anyone didn't believe me, I still have it. Okay, so anyway, she's like, okay, next best option, let's just take all of the data off of her iPhone right now. So she took all of the data off of my iPhone. I cannot access the internet. I cannot do anything that requires data. I literally can't even text message anyone. I have basic phone services on my phone. That's it. She also gets on my phone and sets app restrictions. She takes away the app store, so I cannot access social media. I cannot download anything unless I have a password, and sets a time limit for the amount of text messages that I can send for 5 minutes a day. So if I want to text anyone, because I had like limited messages, I had to do it in a 5-minute window. You can't even type a text message in 5 minutes, okay? Mind you, this is happening the day before my 16th birthday. So no sweet 16 party for me. No party, period. I, of course, found ways around this. I did break into the screen time thing. Like, I discovered the password just through guessing it, or like asking people what meaningful numbers to her would be multiple times. But when that stopped working, I literally had to go into my notes app, because that was one of the apps that wasn't restricted on a time limit, type a note and send that note to people to text message. And then I could only read their notifications when they came down in the notification bar. It was awful. I also at some point went out and bought myself a trap phone and bought a data plan for it, because I always had a job, so I always had money. So I was able to access social media, but it was like the cheapest $65 Samsung that I could have gotten. So it was awful. I still have that somewhere in here too. Anyway, surprisingly, the part that she was most upset about wasn't even the gardening or like the plan B pill or anything. It was literally that I had 5 people over that she all knew while she was out of town, and she called it a party. That was what she was most upset about. She also didn't take any of these restrictions off of my phone when I turned 18. My dad and I had to concoct a scheme and go to Verizon and have her call Verizon to tell them the screen time password so that I could reset my phone. But yeah, there was never actually any talk of me getting any of those things back. It wasn't like a loss of privileges. Like, she never wanted me to have it in the first place, so it was just something that was taken away forever. Like, it was nothing that I could earn back, because I was actually a really good kid, and like I had good grades and everything, so it was gone forever. Anyway, that's it. Hope this was entertaining. Bye.
Hey y'all, I got this story time that I want to tell, because randomly last night I just thought of it, and I was like, I need to tell this story. I need to get other people's views on this and how y'all would have went about it, or even just what y'all think. So yeah, so it's 2 girls from high school. One is a close friend, one is one that I just came cool with through my close friend. So we reunited after high school. We went out. We started hanging out after that time. We went out. We became like real cool, you know. To be honest, they used to date in high school, and that was literally like the reason why they were close. It's because they dated and became friends, still friends after or whatever, had their little thing going on, whatever. So one day we were going out again, and I, you know, was coming up, meeting them, like we were meeting up at one of their houses. I could just feel some tension, energy, and I'm just like, the vibe shift, like when I walked up. But I had been drinking, so I was just like, maybe I'm tripping. It is what it is. Nobody ever said nothing. Everybody, my close friend, she said hey, and then the other one kind of was like, hey. Her energy was just different than the other times when I like pulled up. If you know, you know, when shit like that happens, somebody been talking, or both of them been talking, whatever, you know. So like a week later, my good friend, she called me and was just like, Brian, I got something to tell you. I can't keep this from you. Plus me and the girl, we're not cool anymore. So I just feel like I need to tell you. I'm like, I'm like, what? You know, because I be getting on 10 when I'm just like, you kept something from me. Tell me, like, you know, at this point, just tell me, what is it? So at this point, I'm like, girl, just get it out. What do you have to say? So she told me that the girl has been talking mad shit about me and she never liked me. Y'all, guess what this girl had to say about me? I'm about to blow y'all mind because I just know I'm not overreacting. I just know it. Like, let me tell y'all, I'm just disgusted rethinking about it. So she told her that Brianna's a cheap person because when we go out, why does she feel like we need to split the bill? Let me tell y'all why she said this. Why should we have to split the bill? Let me zoom in. Because why should we have to split the bill when Brianna has no kids, we have kids, and she doesn't really have to spend her money on anything? Child, I have to zoom back out. Because I don't have kids, I need to pay for you guys? Yeah, I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad all over again. My blood just started boiling. I said, the fuck you mean? Because I don't have kids. I need to pay for y'all. Like, I just kept saying, like, are you serious? Like, it has to take a slow, illiterate person to say something like that. What do you mean? First off, I go to work, earn my hard-earned money. Hey, that check says my name. It don't say my name and so-and-so name. That check that's deposited in that account that has my name on it, because I worked those hours and I didn't have her on the side of me working those hours with me. Yes, I'm going to split the fucking bill. Now, did I enjoy the good time you had to conceive that baby? No. Was I on the side of you helping you push that baby out? No. So why the hell you think I'm supposed to pay for you to have a good time? Baby, if you cannot afford to have a good time after your responsibilities, then stay home. Don't expect nobody to do nothing just because they ain't got no kids. But yeah, my friend ended up apologizing, was just like, I was wrong for keeping it from you, but I was just trying to keep the peace. I know how you get and da-da-da. I didn't want y'all fighting. I'm just like, child, please. You should have told me, because one thing about it, I don't like being around somebody when they feel ill about me. Like, I'm quick to be like, baby, I don't need that around me. That bad energy, negative energy, baby. And plus, when it's something like that, you ain't got no reason to feel the way you feel. For whatever reason, you think you're entitled to other people money because you have kids, baby. That ain't my problem. That ain't nobody's problem but yours.
Get ready with me as I tell you our family drama on why my grandma called us today saying that she's not coming to Christmas. Okay, so funny thing is I recorded it, and half of the things I was saying, I was mixing up Christmas with Thanksgiving, so we're gonna restart and act like I'm not as far into my makeup as I am. So basically, it started at Thanksgiving. My family does this thing where there's like an adults table and then there's a kids table, but it's really just because we don't have a table long enough to fit everybody. So every year, my cousins and my uncle and I kind of like, fight for the kids table. There's only 4 spots, and we just like get on a lot better, and we just laugh about the same things. So it's like we like sitting together, so we all fight to get that spot. So this year it was my godmother, my uncle, and my little cousin, because my other cousin didn't come to Thanksgiving because he was in Las Vegas because he lives there now. So I recently had beef prior to Thanksgiving with my grandma, because she was kind of like running her mouth about people that I was like dating, but I went out with them one time and then I never saw them again. But basically what happened was that I came to her house and she was like, oh my God, how was your date? And I was like, oh, grandma, like, it's not like that. Like, like we went and we just hung out. It wasn't really a date. And we were just seeing like if we could be friends in general before anything. And it just, like flirt out. And I understand that the generations are different. Like, I don't count a hangout as a date. Like, you can take me out. Like, we just hung out and like played video games and like just chilled. Totally different things in my mind. And so I told her this. I was like, oh, grandma, like, no, like, it wasn't that. And about 3 weeks after that, she goes to my hairdresser, the same girl, and tells her that I am dating this new boy. And at this point, I go and see her 3 days later. So she's like, oh, like, your grandma said that you're dating a new boy. Like, who is this? And it's kind of like a big deal because my last boyfriend cheated on me with like 28 girls or something. And my hairdresser knows all of this. I'm very close with her. So whenever there's a new boy, like, she's very, like, you know, opinionated. And at this point, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, not that like, oh my God, you're asking me about this, but I'm like, I told her that it wasn't a date. And so I'm like kind of beefing with my grandma at this point, because I'm like, I told you like a while ago it wasn't that. And then you went and told my hairdresser that it was. And she was also like telling my auntie and like people in my family. And I was like, oh my God, girl, you need to watch some like drama show, because why are you gossiping like this? She lives that retired life, so I bet that's part of the issue here. But basically, I was kind of like mad at her from that, because it was like not like beef, but I was like, you know, kind of irritated, because I'm like, what are you doing? After I've already told you twice. So Thanksgiving, I'm with my cousin at the table that we're sitting at, and she kind of comes up to me after everybody's done eating, and it's me, my cousin, and my godmother. And my godmother, like 15 minutes prior to my grandma coming over, told me something that my grandma said at my graduation in June about me, and I hadn't known that she said that, and it hurt my feelings what she said. I don't want to say what she said, but because it's like coming at me, but also coming at the people I hang out with. So that was very irritating. And then she came up to me and she just looked at me and tilted her head, and she was like, Anna, your hair looks very different. Knowing that I just went to see my hairdresser. And, you know, you don't want a fucking compliment that says, oh, your hair looks different, you know? So I kind of like try to brush it off, and I'm like, thanks. And my little cousin kind of notices, and she's like, hey, grandma, like, that's not really nice to say. And my grandma kind of like fights back at her and is like, what do you mean? Like, I'm telling her her hair looks different because it looks different. Like, why is that mean? Why are you attacking me? And she was like, no, grandma, like, you know, it's just like saying your hair looks different isn't very nice. Like, it's not really a compliment. It is kind of backhanded. And then my godmother steps in and she's like, yeah, like, it's kind of like what you say when you can't think of anything nice to say. So after them telling her this, I'm in the middle of the two, and she turns her head back at me and looks and says, your hair looks very different. And like that tone, like, And I'm like, I'm shocked. In my head, it's one thing to say it once, but like to say it back to back after somebody has told you why it's not okay to say it pissed me off. And I kind of just went, thanks, and kind of just walked away, because I just, you know, we tried with her and it just did not seem to work. And so, oh no, I just pulled a lash. So after that, I kind of like, you know, go on with my night, but I am kind of like going around to make sure I don't run into her, because I am mad at her at this point, and I just know I need to cool down from that situation. And before I know it, she's telling my mom that she's leaving. And, you know, I'm like, okay, like right after you come at me for my hair being different and being called out for that rude comment, like, you want to leave. Okay, that's kind of like what happens every year. And so she kind of leaves, and later after she left, my mom was like, oh, like, she said that you guys were attacking her. And I was like, girl, are you for real? And basically, like, we told her what actually happened, because I told her before my grandma even left. And she was like, yeah, like, she's probably just being dramatic, like, it'll blow off. Girl, it in fact did not. I want to add more blush to this side. This Urban Decay blush, I literally just got it and I love it. It has hyaluronic acid, I think, in it, so it's really hydrating at the same time. Very perfect, but I can't wait to try my Mario that's in my Sephora box that I ordered, but I'm forcing myself to wait for Christmas, so it's like a Christmas gift. So basically, the next weekend, my mom throws like her annual holiday like ugly sweater with our close family friends, like family and friends that have like known me since I was a baby, like very close knit. And my mom is talking about how I told her that she needed to talk to Grandma about what she has been saying to me, because it's been like years on years of her like making like smart little comments about my appearance. It's, why did you do that to your face? Why are you wearing lashes? Like, why are you trying to be so dramatic? Even when I pierced my second ear, she was like, well, what are you doing? Like, that makes no sense. Why would you do that to yourself? So it's always very like backhanded compliments with her. And so she tells my like auntie during the party that she tried to talk to her about like apologizing or just talking to me about it, because she left before anything else could be resolved that night. And my grandma basically told her that she always gets attacked at our gatherings and she isn't coming to Christmas. And my auntie is like, Jen, to my mom, she's like, you know that Grandma does this every single year. She finds something to get mad about at Thanksgiving and then says that nobody cares about her and that she won't be coming to Christmas. And I didn't know that this was happening every year. So that kind of made me feel better, because I was like, oh my God, like she's literally not coming to Christmas because she's mad that I got upset at her making a rude comment to me. I thought that it was like all my fault, yada, yada, yada. So now knowing that, I'm like, okay, like she's probably still going to come. She's just, in a little phase. Until today, I have realized that it is not just a phase, because my grandma normally calls my mom every single night to talk. And since Thanksgiving, she has not called once, since like my mom has like tried to be like, hey, like even if you didn't mean it like that, like you hurt Anna's feelings, that's the bottom of the line, and maybe just, try to apologize or be like, hey, this is truly what I meant, like I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. She refused to do that. She was like, no, you guys are attacking me constantly, yada, yada, yada. And today we got a phone call. I heard my mom talking pretty, anxiety hide on the call. Turns out it was my grandma, and she was confirming with my mom that she was not coming. All I heard my mom say on the phone was that she was really sorry that my grandma had felt the way that she did, and that she hopes that she will come around soon and want to talk about it, and that we would miss her at Christmas. But yeah, my grandma is holding on to the thing that she claims that we attacked her for, saying that you couldn't be rude complimenting somebody. So yeah, welcome to my drama.
Guess you could put it, my love life has been a bit boring. I'm kind of afraid of men, so I don't really talk to them. But I have had a few situations, some talking stages, some, You'll see. Anyways, boy number one was, I think, the first guy, like, I ever talked to, or, like, dated, I guess. Never, like, actually dated anyone, but we said we were dating, but it was middle school, so I don't think it really, like, counts. And we're going to call him Shu for the sake of this video. So Shu was kind of weird. Like, he was really nice to me, but he was just kind of really mean to other people, which, like, I really did not like. Okay, and on top of that, this is gonna sound really bad, but I was really, like, afraid of being judged for being with him, and, like, I don't know, I just, like, I didn't want to, like, be seen with him. That was probably the first red flag, and I should have followed my gut and not dated him, or whatever that even was. I don't even know. It's also, like, kind of like a bop. Like, low-key, like, looking back at it, like, he was definitely a bop. Actually, I do have to say, he blocked every girl on his Snapchat for me. I didn't even ask him to, but he just, like, did it. Actually, that was a good move on his end. Like, I'm gonna give him that. When we started, like, talking, I was in Dollar Tree one day, and he was like, yo, like, if you get me some candy, like, I'll get you a perfume. And I was like, a perfume for candy? Like, that's crazy. And I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah, like, bet. And I was like, okay, sure then, like, what do you want? And he was like, oh, like, just give me, like, anything. So I just, like, got him, like, Skittles or something. I don't even remember what I got him. But the next day at school, like, he came up to me, and he was like, so, where's my candy at? And I was like, I gave it to him, and we would, like, walk together after, like, third period every day, and I always would be, like, stressing, like, about what to say, because I, like, didn't know how to talk to a man. Like, a week later, we were, texting, and he was like, hey, I'm about to go to Ulta, like, what perfume do you want? I was like, what? I was shook that he was like actually about to get it for me. And I was like, the Mod Vanilla perfume, like I have that right now. Like I don't have the one he gave me because I ran out, but I have 2 other ones. But he was like, okay. He was like, what size? And I was like, I don't really care, like whatever size you were comfortable with getting me. And he got me like the full size, and that was crazy to me. I'd also go to some of my track meets and like get me flowers and stuff, but he left the price tags on. But like, I don't know, it was just like the whole situation made me really uncomfortable because all of his friends made me uncomfortable, and it made me like uncomfortable to be there with him and be around his friends. And I don't know, I did not feel like, I don't know. And before I say this next part, I am not really like a physical touch person, and he really wanted to hug me, which was like, I don't know, he was like planning it out. Like he was like, when do I get to hug you? And I was like, I don't really like hugs. Like, I don't like hugs. Like, I just don't like hugs, period. Like, I hate hugs. And he just kept asking and asking, and it made me really uncomfortable. Then I was like, okay, like, sure, like, I'll give you a hug, like, after school. And I don't even know why I said that. Like, he was asking me a lot, so I was just like, yeah, I'll hug him, I guess. But, so he waited for me after school for my bus for like, I think like 30 minutes. And when my bus came, it was like the last bus, and we were like the last people there. He wasn't coming home with me or anything. He was like, I don't even know where he was going. We're walking up to the bus, and he's like, so, where's my hug at? So he goes up to me, and he's like, where's my hug at? Where's my hug at? And I'm like, oh, haha. And I hugged him. But keep in mind, like, I had been practicing with my friends, like, practicing hugging them before this hug. And I was like, I'm not scared of, like, him not hugging me back. I'm scared of doing it wrong. The fear was wrong. He didn't hug me back. He didn't hug me back. Like, crashed out on the spot. I was like, I turned to him, and I was like, what the heck? He was like speechless, like he didn't say anything. And I got on my bus, and it was really embarrassing because like people were watching, but it was like weird people, I guess. So I got on my bus, and I don't even know, I like started crying or something, I don't even know. But he started like texting me, and I like ignored it, and I put on some sad music and like leaned my head against the door. So dramatic, I don't even know why. But eventually I did answer him, and he was like, I'm so sorry, like, I just wasn't expecting you to hug me right then, and it just took me by surprise, and I didn't hug you back. As a forgiving person I am, I was just like, yeah, like, it's okay. But, like, I don't know. Like, I just, like, it kind of icked me out. He icked me out, like, the whole time. But I can't remember if that was, like, before or after the perfume. But a week after, like, either the perfume or the hug, I ended it because I was like, you know. I guess I just, like, came to my senses, and I was like, why am I being with this man if I don't even want him? So, like, why is this story making me sound like a horrible person? Like, I swear I'm not a horrible person. I just didn't like him, and I didn't know how to say I didn't like him. Anyways, so it's the night of the breakup, and I'm like, hey, like, I can't, like, I don't know. I was just like, I, like, don't like you very much anymore, and I just don't think we work very well together, like, we need to break up. Or I said something, and I'm not joking, it took me an hour to break up with him. He was like, no, like, I don't want to, like, why are you doing this? And he kept texting me and saying, like, no, like, don't do this, like, I can change. I literally repeated myself like 5 times. I was like, I'm sorry, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I can't date you. Like, it's not you, it's me. I pulled that move. But, like, he wouldn't let it go. And then the next day, like, I'm talking to one of my friends, and she's like, yeah, like, Shu sent me a snap last night, and his eyes were red and puffy and looked like he'd been crying forever. Like, did you guys break up? Like, my friend was telling me, she was like, yeah, like, he was texting me in, like, the group chat. And I was like, who's the group chat? And then there's 4 girls in the group chat and him. Like, what? Apparently, this entire part of the group chat, he's been talking about me in the group chat and been talking crap about me and been talking about everything in our relationship and everything. And then the day after, like, we broke up, I found out that he had sent nudes, like, pics to, a ton of girls. Yeah, that was definitely one of my more interesting stories, I guess. But that was also middle school, so a lot happened in middle school. Okay, I think that's it with the story, and stay tuned for part 2 and part 3 and 4 and 5 for all the other people. And I hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day. Bye!
Hi guys, and get ready with me for bed while I talk about some drama that's going on right now. So to start off, I don't know why all around my eyes is so red. Okay, hopefully I'm not having like an allergic reaction to something. Okay, so just like pretend that this isn't happening. But to give you a little context, I had this friend, and moral of the story, long story short, we stopped being friends. We just kind of like stopped talking. So we're not like friends anymore. So that's just like the background. And we also go to this like out of school program that like gets us ready for career paths. And we joined it together. And so we take the bus like to go there. Please don't mind my eyes, like I actually don't know what's going on. But anyways, today we were on the bus going back to school from that program. And we don't sit next to each other anymore because of like the whole us not being friends. So what happened was this girl ended up sitting next to her. She's also in like the same program as us, but she's in the second year program. We're in the first year program. So it's like she knows us, kind of. We follow each other on Instagram, like it's mutual and everything, you know. We've talked to her like about the program, like she's just there, you know. So now she started sitting with her. Like the girl that's in second year started sitting with my old friend, right? And I was sitting next to this other girl, like a couple rows back from them. And before the bus left, like the thing, like, okay. I've always had the like suspicion that they would be talking about me, you know, like her not asking why we're friends anymore. Like, I feel like that's like a normal thing to ask when you're sitting with someone that you're like mutually like, oh, why are you guys not friends anymore? Like, you know. So I've always had this suspicion, right? So today I'm sitting in the bus and I see them like kind of like exchanging like little talks, you know? And so I'm kind of watching them because I want to see if they're talking about me, obviously. So I am sitting in the bus looking at them, and I see them. They tried to do it so like not obvious, but it was so obviously not obvious, you know? Like, especially because I had the suspicion that they were talking about me, and they go and do this. Like, so I'm sitting there on the bus and I'm looking at them because I know they're gonna be talking about me. And then they both look back and they're looking for me, but they're not looking for me, and they're trying to make it to as if they're not looking for me. They're just looking around the bus, but it was so obvious that they were looking at me, right? So you know what I do? I stare them down, you know? I know y'all are talking about me. I'm gonna stare you down. But I could only see my ex-friend. I couldn't see the other girl because the buses are like 2 people. So I was on the outer, like the aisle. So she was in front of me. So I couldn't see her, but I could see the other girl like diagonal. So they turn around and they're looking at me. I lock eye contact with both of them. And then I look at my ex-friend and I just stare at her. And she looked away. And then they started saying stuff. And I know I am not stupid, right? I know that they were looking around to make sure that I wasn't near them so they could talk about me. Like, can y'all make it any less obvious? And I could hear them whispering. Like, I couldn't make out what they were saying, but I could hear them whispering, and I could hear my ex-friend saying she, like multiple times, referring to me, obviously. So I'm just like, what's good? Like, the freak? But in the end, I really don't care, because it's like, when you're looking back on this in a year from now, are you really like, I hate her, like, what was she saying about me? No. So I was like, I honestly don't care. Like, obviously I wanted to know what they were saying. Like, we all would want to know what someone is saying about us. But in the end, I just didn't exactly care, because I knew that it wouldn't matter. You know? But yeah. that's my story time. Let me know what more content you guys want, because I don't really know what to post, because I want to do more like get readies with me, but I'm way too tired in the morning, so like my get readies with me in the morning would be absolutely trash, unless you want those, like you want the real get ready with me with 6 in the morning me. And let me know what type of stories you guys want, like friend stories, boyfriend stories, family stories. I don't know, just let me know like what you guys want to hear, because I don't really know what to talk about. Okay, bye guys, thanks so much for watching.
Baby, that was a roller coaster. If any of these compilations taught us anything today, it's that life is full of unexpected twists, and some of y'all have lived through some of these twists. Which of the story hooked you the most? Which of the stories shocked you the most? And if you find this helpful, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. And if you have a comment, let me know in the comment section down below if you want more of these get ready with me videos, and let me know in the comment section down below. Till next time, keep slaying, stay drama free. God bless.